Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And if you weren't here yesterday, welcome. I am so glad I got yesterday done because, like I said, I was very nervous about it, but I'm feeling a lot better today. However, about half an hour ago, I realized I needed to get a different computer set up because my other computer, the fan started making a horrible noise. And so I just spent the last half hour rushing around setting up a new computer. Not a new computer, a different computer. And so that was a little stressful, but now I'm here and everything's cool. And so what I would love, oh, Rosen Foundation, I'm not sure what your first name is, but hello, I'm so glad that you put something in the chat, which I was going to mention that yesterday we didn't get a lot of chatting going on, but I would love to hear from you, like where you're located, what's your name and where you're located, and can you hear me? I hope everybody can hear me. Ashley, awesome, hi Ashley. And can you hear me? Oh, yes, you sound great. Good, good. I'm glad. Like I said, I switched computers, so I kind of wasn't sure if everything was going to work right. But anyway, okay, well, cool. And the other thing, hi, Michelle from Daycroft School. Yeah, we communicated yesterday, and you're in Ann Arbor. I grew up in Ann Arbor, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yesterday, I talked about we have a prize, and our winner yesterday was Cheryl. So congratulations, Cheryl. I don't know if you saw my note, but you are the winner. I'm not going to tell you until Friday what it is, but if anybody knew today, we are drawing for a special prize. It is something I will physically mail to you. So it's not like a digital something or other. It's a gift that I will mail to you. It's for you, not your company. It's smaller than a loaf of bread, and it's not food. It's really, really cool. So I'm excited to do that. And so what we did yesterday, if you weren't here, I will give you a secret word of the day, and then you will send me an email with that word. I'll tell you it later in the video. And then I draw from that at the end of the night tonight. So around 5 or 5:30, I will draw a name from that. And then for anybody who didn't win yesterday and doesn't win today, everybody's going into a giant hat for Friday. So anybody who's on Friday and anybody who has already submitted the word of the day for any of the other days will get in the drawing. So, and same is true for anybody who has watched the replay. If you're watching the replay right now, please go ahead when I tell you the secret word, email it to me and you'll get in the drawing, okay? So I'm gonna go now to the actual reason we're here, which is the slides. Oops, hang on a second. I didn't do that right. Hang on. Still learning, still figuring out what I'm doing here. And I need to do a share. There we go. Share that. Okay, hopefully you all can see this. Okay, parent purchase triggers, and this is basically how to write marketing materials so parents will pick your camp above any other camp that's offered in your area. And to recap day one, just very quickly, because you can go on, if you haven't seen it already, the replay I posted on the website, I sent that in an email. But basically everything that I'm teaching you is based on our own parent surveys and also just data that we have in Camps Rock and the data that we collect about how people use our directory and also my Google Analytics. So I'm like a really nerdy numbers person. I love to look at that kind of analytics and statistics about things. And so that's what this is all based on. That, and also the fact that I'm a mom. That was how this whole thing began, was I'm a mom of 3 kids, and we were using summer camps for our kids, and it was hard to schedule them. And I just said there should be an easier way to find summer camps. And so that's how Camps Rock started. So I guess it's all peppered a little bit with the fact that I'm a mom, and that's what I'm, you know, finding camps and making decisions about camps. So again, also where I posted the replay video, there are handouts for yesterday. And if you didn't get them or you haven't already grabbed that, It is full of like the charts. You'll see some more charts today, but information that came out of my parent survey. So you'll want to go grab that as well. By the way, these things will be up until Monday, Monday midnight, let's say. So if you do want to watch the replay, or you do want to grab the handouts and download the PDF files or share this with other people, make sure you do that before Monday at midnight, okay? Top 3 things parents are most concerned about. By far and away, the first one is price. I hear price all the time. Parents are worried about price. That doesn't mean that you can't charge a reasonable amount, or maybe even a higher amount than what your competitors are charging. That's not what it means. It just means that they're very sensitive to price. So if you are charging more than others, that's exactly why you need to get your marketing materials set up so that you're addressing all of their concerns. That's what we're going to do today in the vision. I'm excited because this is fun stuff. The number 2 thing that they're worried about is making sure their kids are not bored. And think about, like, one of the worst things as a parent is you sign your kid up for a camp, you paid money, they go to the first day, and then they come home and they don't want to go back. So parents want to make sure their kids are not bored, partly because they want their kids to have a happy day, but also they don't want to end up on Tuesday going, well, you have to go. So if they are confident that they've picked a really good, not boring camp, then that's a wonderful thing for the parents. And then finally, they're very interested in safety reviews, or safety information, I guess, and parent reviews. So that's what we're working on today, is writing your marketing materials so you are addressing those concerns. So yesterday we covered what I call the hook and boredom busters. If you weren't online, again, go watch the replay for that, but you don't actually, well, probably be good to have the boredom busters today in order to do the vision. But anyway, today we're going to talk about the vision, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about safety and parent ratings. I didn't put that on there, but parent ratings and pricing, that's the big one. I will tell you all kinds of good information about pricing. I don't know about you, but it's always, to me, a mystery how to price stuff. So I'm going to help you with that. So don't forget, I would love it for you to join our Facebook group, and I've got that in the links. I've got a link to the Facebook group in the emails that I've sent you, and I'll send that again when I send the replay. Take the time to actually do these exercises, even if they sound silly or whatever. I mean, it's fun to I'm just having you do some playing around with words and trying to, write stuff in a way that's going to be really attractive to someone. But all of this is stuff that you already have in your head. You know your camps, you know the details about them, when they're offered and how much you're charging and what ages. But you also know in your heart, like, what you're trying to do, and what your company is all about, and what the people that you hire are like, and all of that stuff. So all of this is already in your head. You just need to get it down on paper. And then finally, at the end of today, or whenever it is that you've done these things and you have some results, or you just have some thoughts, post that in the Facebook group so we can get some, action going in the Facebook group. Okay, the vision. And first I want to talk about some things. Look, I understand that parents can be a pain in the patootie, right? And you can replace patootie with whatever is your favorite word for that. But I know parents are painful to you, and that really you're in business to work with kids, and then you end up having to deal with parents, and it's not always fun. But love them or leave them, parents are the decision makers. And if you're in sales, basically what you would ever learn in any sales training that you would take is you have to be talking to the decision maker. If you're expecting to make a sale, you have to be talking to the decision maker, and that's the parents. So even though the kids have a great amount of influence on what they end up going to, the mom is the one sitting there with her credit card and whether or not she's going to get your camp or choose somebody else's camp. Okay, so all sales efforts are going to fall short if you're not talking to the decision maker. So you need to appeal to their needs, wants, and desires. So A buyer has a need for something. So whatever it is, they have a need to put their child in a camp, either because they're going to be away or they work or the kid is bored during the summer or whatever. But they also have wants and desires, and it's your job to uncover the wants and desires and make sure that you're addressing those in order to close the sale, okay? And by the way, you can sell something to someone who doesn't actually need it just by wants and desires, right? Think about it. People sell you stuff all the time that you don't actually need, but they appeal to your wants and desires, and that's what you need to do. That's what we're going to work on today in the vision. So people purchase with two sides of their brain. You know what? I need to grab some water. Hang on. Okay, a lot of rushing around. I need to drink a little water. People purchase with two sides of their brain. So they have the logical side of the brain and the emotional side of the brain, okay? And on the logical side, it's things like, what are the features? Are the features matching up with their needs? Are there other options that have the features and is a better option for them? Is there data to support their decision? Like other parent reviews would be data, for example. So that's the logical side. On the emotional side, they're talking about, or they're thinking about their kid. The things I was talking about, you know, is the kid having fun? Is it interesting and exciting? And can you relay that to the parent that they can actually envision that their kid is going to enjoy this? Do they feel connected with your mission? Like, do they understand what you as a business and you as a person working in that company, what is your mission and why are you doing all of this? Do they feel connected to that? And then do they feel comforted and understood? Which, like, if you go out and do parent research, which is why we do parent surveys every year, and if you're not already doing parent surveys of your own, you might consider doing that, because the more you learn about your parents and understand them, that's when they're really going to feel connected to you and be ready to make purchase decisions with you, when they feel that connection. So the importance of this vision that we're going to do today, the vision you're going to write, is that if you're not talking to the parent face-to-face or even on the phone, okay, so now it's marketing materials, whether it's your website or it's printed materials or it's an ad that you're running or, you know, whatever it might be, you need to cover both the logical side of their brain and the emotional side of their brain in your sales process, okay? So in what you've written, you've got to get both of those things in there. And I also point out here that it really should entail probably more than just written, okay? So multiple sensory things. So on your website, photos for sure, video, audio, you might, you know, I don't know, video of kids having fun or video of you talking about the camp. I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can use video, photos of what the camp looks like, or pictures of kids having a great time, that kind of stuff. But what we're going to talk about today is the written part of that, and then you can work on all the other things that go around what you write. Okay, so why is it so important? And I'm going to show you two charts. This is directly from our data. And the first one is parents' comfort in trying new camps. And you see the options there. Either never, they go to the same camp every year because it's easy. Never, they're nervous about sending their kids to a new camp. Sometimes they usually go to the same camp, but not always. Often we try new camps all the time and the kids' tastes change. And very often, which either they just moved and everything is new, or, you know, it could be just they've not done a lot of camps and so they're just always trying something new. We'll look at those numbers. So 43%, and unlike our charts from yesterday where all of them were parents could pick up to 3 choices, this was pick your best answer for you. Look at that, 88, what is that, 85%. Are either often changing camps or sometimes changing camps. Oh my goodness, that's a crowd of people who, not all of them are going to leave you, but that's why you have attrition, because people are looking around for other things. So not to worry you about that, but you know, You do need to be working to make sure that you're always kind of retaining those that have already come to your camp. And then, but on the flip side, I mean, it tells you that you do have room to have new kids come to your camp, because there are 85% of people that are potentially looking for different camps this year. So that could be you. Okay, so it's good news, it's bad news, but it is the thing that says writing this vision and making sure that you're appealing to both the logical and the emotional side of the parent's brain is really important. And then I put the same question that we asked kids, and I wish I kind of had asked exactly the same, because we, you see, I have some different options there. The kids either already know or are comfortable with the camp that they go to. They wouldn't often go because they would want a friend to go with them, or their kids like good old standbys, but they would try new ones, or very often their kids' interests change a lot. And so that's just some feedback on how the kids feel about trying new camps. I throw this slide, this bit of information in here, not because it addresses the parent's personal approach, the parent's personal emotional decision-making, but it does apply to the kids' emotions. And so look at the number of kids. So 14% of kids it would be very important for them to have a friend with them at camp. But 57% of kids would be nice to have a friend to go with them. So is there a way that you can incorporate the idea of bringing a friend with you to camp in your marketing materials? Because the kids already, they want to bring their friends. You just need to make, either facilitate that happening or mention it in your in your marketing materials, that kids can add, can bring their friend. And in another presentation that I recently did, I talked about, would it make sense to put maybe a friend's discount? If you do a siblings discount, could you turn that into a friends and siblings discount? Because kids want to bring their friends. And there's other advantages to that as well. This slide, I think, is really great because it talks about features that they would pay more for. Again, tomorrow I'm going to talk a lot more about pricing, but this slide tells you there are certain things that, and this is, oh, I didn't put it on here, but this is, once again, they could pick their top three that, no, I apologize. They could pick all that applied to them. Okay, so the things that they would pay more for: specialized topics, that would be something that was difficult to find or, was really unique. Specialized topics, they would be interested, or they would be willing to pay more. 41% understand that if there's an extra cost to materials, that camp would be more expensive. So, if you're doing art and you're doing a specific kind of art that takes a lot of expensive materials, or that parents understand that there are extra costs to that. If you are running a camp that is dangerous in some way that requires you to carry extra insurance or whatever, they understand that extra cost. Perceived higher quality, that maybe it's you have a brand name that they trust, or just basically they feel like you're providing a higher quality. And by the way, that might have to do with some of these wants and needs that maybe nobody else, like your competitors, aren't necessarily watching a presentation like this or finding this sort of thing elsewhere, and they're not really doing that. In their marketing materials, they're doing all of the left side of the brain, the logical stuff, and they're not kind of relaying to the parents the higher quality because of the wants and, the wants and desires. Expert camp leaders, that would be things like, maybe you have a coach that is a well-known coach, or you have some other kind of very highly specialized teachers with degrees in something or whatever. Those would be things that people would pay more for. And then there were 32 or 23% that said they would not pay more if it exceeded their price point. I would kind of argue that I think that subconsciously it is possible they still might pay more. In answering this question, they said no, but I think there's possibility that pretty much anybody would pay more if they really felt like you had answered their wants and desires, okay? All right, the vision. So we're going to tackle the logical side first, and this is the easy stuff because it's what you already have, okay? And this is the stuff that has to be in there to cover the logical part of their brain, their decision-making process. So it's basically what you're offered, what it's called, and generally what it is. That's easy. And then the details, so time, age, price, dates, and any other kind of important information that you have. Do you offer extended care? Do you cater to kids with special needs? Do you provide any kind of meals? Or are there any other kind of special instructions that people need? Even things like maybe field trips or whatever, that they need to know those little details about the logical part of what you're offering. But then let's move to the emotional side of the sale, and that is the stuff that you need to have written in your material, and it's just sort of woven through everything that you do, but it's sort of without being right in your face, it's letting them know that these are the kinds of things that will appeal to their emotional side. So what kinds of fun things are the kids going to do that is very clear and obvious to the parent that it's really going to be a fun camp, not just like, we have a lot of fun, but it's more, you know, I mean, a better description than that. They want to know what environment the kids are going to be in. Like, what does your space look like? How big is it? You know, is it different rooms? Are you spending, you know, a portion of your time outside? They want to know, like, be able to envision in their mind, what is my kid doing today? So that's important. Special features that justify your price would be another. Who are the leaders and what are their qualifications? I think putting in qualifications is excellent, even if it's not necessarily that they have a certain degree or whatever, but that you've done certain kind of training that you've done, or you've required that they've taken some sort of training. How do you deal with safety procedures and policies? And this is not necessarily that you're going to put your safety procedures and policies on your website or something like that, but just that, again, in weaving it through your written text on your page, that you are, you know, you do pay attention to those kinds of safety concerns. And you might actually put it on your website on a menu option where somebody can read your safety procedures and maybe edit that, you know, boil it down to kind of what makes sense for the parents to read, not your entire policy book. But anyway, parents are very interested in that. What is your company philosophy? What do you stand for? There's a camp that we work with that I just love. Like, she actually on her website has all this great information about, you know, it's a grassroots enrichment, and it's just all about kind of, I don't know how to even explain it, but anyways, her company philosophy is right there on her website, and it's very clear, kind of the loving nature of their camp and their whole company, really. They want to know, can they trust you with their kid, right? They're going to put their child, who is probably one of the most important people in their life, and they're going to entrust you with their child, and that's what has to go into their decision. Deep down, they need to know that they can trust you. So let's do the fun stuff. We're going to start back to those boredom busters that we did yesterday. And if you hadn't done that already, don't worry about it. Just, you know, later tonight, watch that replay. It's basically just a laundry list of all the fun stuff that you do at your camp. And so what you want to do, just like we did with the hook, you're going to go back and write a few sentences using all of those boredom busters. Just try to write yourself a nice paragraph that just kind of covers everything fun that you do in camp. And then I suggest you work on creating an opening sentence that would be the first thing you're going to put on your materials about that camp. And so I've given an example here. This is based on the Boredom Busters member I brainstormed just for a camp that we had listed in Camps Rock. And I wrote down this example. If your child enjoys unicorns, pretending to be a princess or knight, and having lots of silly fun with art, creation, and their imagination, then look no further, because our Unicorns and Knights in Shining Arbor Camp is going to keep your child entertained and excited from the first day of friend making to the last afternoon, concluding with a play they will share with you. So in that sentence, I've incorporated all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of fun in there. There is keeping your child entertained and excited. The first day of friend making, that was sort of incorporating that idea that kids are nervous about making new friends. That was part of yesterday's presentation, if you weren't there. And then to the last afternoon, concluding with a play they will share with you. And parents love, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a play. It's just something that the kids are going to come home and share with their parents, whether it's you know, something they learned, a new game, or you know, whatever it might be. So I gave you a few formulas that you can use to write your opening sentence, or at least give you some, you know, creative juices flowing for how you might do this. So the one that I just used, and you see in brackets, it's kind of like a Mad Lib. So take that and you say, if your child enjoys, and then all you need to do is put the most awesome thing you do at camp, comma, the second most awesome, the third most awesome. Then look no further, because our camp name is going to keep your child positive feeling 1, positive feeling 2. Okay, so you get the idea. So the second one down is maybe has more to do, or something that would be an outdoor camp or a overnight camp where they're having fun experiences, they're doing exploration, and they're doing maybe having some personal growth, or they're learning things. So that would be kind of a formula for that kind of thing. And then the third one, which again is sort of, I put in something they wouldn't do at home and something else they wouldn't do at home, so that the parents are seeing, like, okay, they're not just going to be babysat and, you know, color and, you know, play Red Rover. They're going somewhere and they're going to do something they totally would never get a chance to do otherwise. And they're going to learn skills and, again, personal growth. So those are just some examples, but I think hopefully that gives you the idea of, you know, building a sentence, and really you can build a paragraph the same way, just like incorporating all those kinds of things that are addressing those emotional needs of the parent. And then this next slide and the one after it is just, again, I will post this set of slides as a handout when I post the replay, and so you can grab these and use this as your writing prompts. But again, what is your company philosophy? Who are your camp leaders? Just, you know, if you don't already have this stuff written on your website, just sit down and do some writing. What are the answers to some of these questions? And then again, what is the space like? I'm going to talk about quickly that special qualifications. At a camp, it was a basketball camp at a university, and they were struggling to fill their camps, which was like, well, you'll find out why I thought it was crazy, because the camp was being led by their head coach, who was a winning head coach, and by some of the kids on the team, the college students on the team. So it was a university. It was being played, the camp was being held in their university arena. So, and it was local. So, you know, it's like, there's no reason that a parent shouldn't be going, like, my kid who wants to do basketball would want to go to this camp with this head coach and playing in the actual arena that the university plays in. I mean, like, that's totally cool. They had not mentioned that at all on their website. It wasn't, I mean, it was not there. I had to ask him, like, who's doing this? Who's running it? So it could be completely obvious to you who's running it, but it isn't obvious to your audience unless you tell them. So anything like that, make sure it's just very clear to them who's running it. Again, I talked about safety policies already, special features. We talked about what people would pay more for. Okay, so that's today. We did yesterday the hook, the boredom busters. Today we did the vision. Tomorrow we're going to talk about safety and reviews, and I'm going to reveal to you all kinds of stuff about pricing, which is hopefully going to be very interesting. And right now I'm going to stop for a moment and I am going to tell you my secret word of the day today is everybody. Everybody. And the reason is because, and I mentioned this yesterday, Camps Rock, we want to include everybody. Whether you can afford to pay for it or not, you can always join Camps Rock and list your camps for free at the basic free level, and we want everybody. The whole reason for that is that we want the parents to come. And so yesterday I told you a couple of things about Camps Rock, and today I want to just sort of tell you my why. And this is my husband and I own this business, and you know, why do we do it is really important to me. And that is because I want to get more kids in camp. Basically, I want to make sure that kids are going to camps that are interesting to them and they're having fun. And I'm hopeful, I mean, I want to make it easy for parents to do that, easy for parents to find the camps that their kids will love. And so that's how we started the business in the first place, and that is still the reason why I do it. So, of course, I do it for you because that's what we're trying to do, is get more parents to find you. So I do it for you, but that's why kind of the way it's designed and the whole fact that we want there to be a free option for everybody to get their camp in is because it is designed for the parents, so the parents can get the kids into the camps. Hopefully that makes sense. But that, I just wanted to say that that's kind of why we're doing this. And then I put, just like yesterday, that link to go learn more if you want. You can either go just to directormemberclub.com, and there you can find all kinds of information about what we're doing, and then directormemberclub.com/join Camps Rock, and that's telling you about our Founders League special. That is an offer that we're making right now. Currently, those of you who have been watching this series are the only ones who know about this, and it is half price. So the regular price of Founders League is going to be $3.99, and right now we're offering it at $1.99. But if you want to go and read more about that, that's on that page. Okay, so the secret word is everyone. Is that what I said? Not everybody, everyone. Yeah. Well, if you say everybody, it's the same difference, right? Okay. So finally, I'd ask you to go out to the Facebook group. Again, it will be in the link. I will put a link in the email that I will send you, but it's their Camps Rock free group is what it's called on Facebook. And post something, post what you learned today. I don't know, just give me some feedback. I would love to know what more, what more you would want to know. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. Okay, going back to this. So, and then again, send me an email. And in that email, if you have just feedback for me, something that you have enjoyed about this program, or something that you've learned, include that in the email to me, because it helps me to know whether I'm doing this right or whether I'm, hitting a nerve. I don't know. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. Even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and send me an email with the secret word of the day. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Anyone there have questions? Trying to think. There's one question that I was going to answer, because it's something that a lot of people wonder about. Any other questions? Okay, so one thing is we do get a lot of questions about, is Camps Rock in my city? Because you might go out to Camps Rock, depending on where you're located, and search and not find a lot. Okay, so part of the reason for that might be either we have not yet come to your city officially and started marketing in your city, or we just started last year. Last year we went out to 100. I say 100, I mean, they were all different size of cities. So they were cities like, Raleigh, Durham, but also cities like Centerville, Ohio. So then there's a lot of different places that we went last year. And so it may be that it just didn't yet get traction. And we're kind of one of those chicken before the egg kind of problems. So we need camps to list their camps. We need camp organizations to list their camps so that parents will find things, and that's how we will grow. So it's sort of like we need people to list their camps so that more camps will say, oh yeah, this is happening, and parents will come on and say, oh yeah, this is happening. So our promise to you is that in your city, we watch what's happening, what zip codes, we've got camps coming on, we watch that every day. And so if we see that your city is starting to take hold, we are going to start investing money, like actually investing Facebook ad dollars and other things in your city to start getting even more generated out of that. Okay, so just know that this time of year you're going to go on and say, well, maybe you know, I'm in Mobile, Alabama, and there's not a lot happening here. I promise you, Mobile is the place that we are going to be focusing this year, but again, we're watching like who's joining and where the zip codes are that's getting a lot of activity, and that's where we will start focusing what we're doing. So are there any other questions? And hopefully that made sense. All right, well, I've gone over a little bit more than what I was planning on, but I hope you found this interesting today. Don't forget to send me an email with the word of the day. Ashley, thank you. All right, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about pricing. Yay. Talk to you soon.